Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Rant. I am Dr. Zombrin, also known as Seth, the guy that just making weird noises. He might be having a stroke, I don't know. He's JJ, also known as...
Your mother?
That's a great YouTube channel.
What, your mother? Your mother is a YouTube channel?
Yep.
I know Dad is a YouTube channel, but is that like... it's
Your Mom Jokes, remember?
Oh, that is a channel, isn't it? That's a weird one. That's like one of those weird corners of YouTube that I like try not to go to.
Oh, I watch it all the time. It's hilarious.
Anyways, yeah, I'm JJ. Hi, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the world of streaming services. And now that I think about it, we should probably touch on YouTube as well because, you know, they're kind of stepping their foot into that area.
We could do YouTube Red as well, like YouTube TV,
Yeah.
YouTube Red, even though YouTube Red's, I think, dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to start off, I think we should dip our toes in the big ones, like, you know,
Well, I think we should talk about... Let's state our topic.
I did. Streaming
Well,
services.
well, like, you just said, like, no, you said that should be incorporated in the streaming services. You
Yeah,
never,
then I
like...
said today we're going to be talking about streaming services.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
open
we're
your
talking about
ears. Today
Okay,
we're
I'm
talking
locked
about
in.
streaming services, guys.
Anyway, so... we're gonna talk... we got a list here. You can go ahead and start it off. Which one do you want to start off with
I
first?
think we should start with Netflix because obviously Netflix was the big one that started all of this. Like the
This is
huge
very
jump to
true.
streaming that happened in the past, I don't know, 10, 20 years, I'd say.
Not to mention, it's not just the first. It's been around before streaming. It used to, you know, send DVDs and stuff like that to people, which was kind of early streaming. It wasn't
Yeah,
like...
it was more so like a red box, I'd say.
Yeah,
just like
Blockbuster
across
for the old
nation.
people.
Mhm.
Do you know Blockbuster? I think we had this talk.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
think
been, though?
I think we did talk about this. I have been to a Blockbuster a few times.
So it's just like that.
Yeah.
It's great. We did not use Netflix before that. I started using it when it was a streaming service. Have you ever used it?
Yeah,
Have you ever, like... Did you guys have it for a while? Or have you never really...
we had it after they stopped doing the CD stuff, is when we started our subscription. So
Okay.
we've only had it since it's been streaming. And it's been a roller coaster. I'll tell you what, Netflix is one of the most arguably, I don't know, it's debatable as a streaming service because I know a lot of people like it. It has a lot of great shows like Dragon's Race to the Edge, Avatar Last Airbender.
Is Race to the Edge Netflix?
Yeah, that's a Netflix original.
There's also Dragon Prince. I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah, Dragon Prince is
Prince.
good.
Troll
Lost
Hunters.
in Space. You know, they've had some really good ones out, but then, you know, they have the horde of like hundreds of just terribly funded, terribly written movies and shows that Netflix has produced, and it's just like,
yeah.
Okay, so if you can get past all the bad stuff, there's a lot of good content on
Well,
here.
the other thing is with lovely algorithms, which we'll get to in a different episode eventually. If you watch, depending on what you watch, it gives me a lot. Like my page is full of anime and stuff that I like, so
Yeah.
I don't see half the stuff unless I really search for it.
Yeah, I have a lot of, like, stuff I would typically watch on here. Like, obviously, Dragon Prince is showing up. I got The Flash up here, Merlin.
Oh, yeah, CWs as well, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shows on here.
I think that's
and
another
I feel
nice
like their
thing,
algorithm's pretty good.
which we're going to talk to a little bit more in depth later, but, like, Netflix just has so much anime. I feel like that's a really good starting before you get to one of the proper anime services. I feel like Netflix is a really good place to start. It has a lot of originals. It has a lot of like other ones. Like it has One Piece, but it also has Seven Deadly Sins, which is a Netflix original anime. Same with general movies, sci-fi. Like every genre, it has originals, but it also has some pretty good movies, like the CW shows, Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, all that sort of stuff.
I'd say a lot of the Netflix originals are pretty good. Like Troll Hunters, that was a Netflix original.
Yep, Troll
Arcane,
Hunters.
Netflix original. Cobra Kai, Netflix original.
Yep.
But
Stranger
then, you know,
Things.
the Netflix funded, like, actual, like, Netflix studio produced projects are absolute garbage. So it seems like they're good if they work with somebody, but if they're left, it's like a toddler. If you leave them to their own devices, something's gonna go wrong.
Why is that so accurate?
But yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty valid. So, what do you want to go through and rank the streaming services?
Yeah, why not? We'll rank these. What do you say? Out of 10, or do we do it tier list style?
Let's quickly pull up a tier list.
I don't. Okay, send it to me once you find one then.
Okay. We'll do it. Well, actually, no, because they can't see it. So let's just rank it out of 10, because they're not going to see the tier list anyway.
That's fair.
I'd say like a 7.8. Because
I was thinking 7, yeah.
Yeah, just because, like I said, as someone who really likes anime, it's perfect. It has so much anime content, but it doesn't have everything. Like One Piece, it has 300 episodes, but that's out of like 1,000 that are out.
We also have to remember Netflix has very much turned political in a lot of their stuff, and they're doing some shady things with their pricing, which I know made a lot of people mad. So they're not the best company, but they got good content. So I'll
mention, I feel like another thing we should talk about, and let's try to make this a little bit faster because we have a lot more to go on. Where do you think it's going to be going? How long do you think? Like we talked, so we had this conversation before in our own time, but this is definitely an interesting conversation to have for the public. Where do you think this is going to go? How long do you think it's going to last?
I think it'll be around for a while because, like you mentioned in our other conversation, it was one of the first, and I feel like that gives it kind of like a get past the drama card. So like even if something happens, they're probably still going to be around just because they have such a reputation.
Yeah, that's like you said. That's what I said in the original one. Like if it wasn't the first, like one of the first and the biggest, like when you think streaming. Like 5 years ago, you're only thinking Netflix. You weren't thinking Disney Plus and all these other ones, even the ones that were out. You weren't thinking of them. And now look at all the streaming services that are now out, but Netflix was first. So, all right, another Titan, Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
it's Monopoly.
Okay.
I mean,
here we go.
Isn't that like a definition? It has all Disney stuff. Which I feel like is a monopoly on Disney stuff.
It's a monopoly on Disney content, but I feel like that shouldn't be counted as a monopoly because it's literally their content. So,
Okay, you got a point. Fine.
Yeah.
Fun.
So, like, Disney Plus, in my opinion, is one of the highest quality streaming services out there.
For sure. Oh, we forgot to talk about the UI for the first one.
Okay.
Let's finish Netflix up with UI.
Let's jump back. Yeah.
How do you feel about the UI for Netflix? I like it.
It's okay. It's not clean,
it can be better,
but it works and it's nice.
Because I like the fact that here, let me quickly pull it up on my phone, which is generally all these are pretty similar across like mobile versus. I like brings a big one, the continue, all these different sections, the only on Netflix. But like when I'm going, I also like the new and hot, what everyone's watching, and the new stuff coming out with dates. First laughs, you can download stuff. I really like all that sort of stuff. The watch list is nice. Because I don't really like I don't really like Disney's watch list. So,
I feel like Disney's algorithm is a little bit slacking on what they recommend you. It's just like stuff with the same tag, which is honestly a simple algorithm. Like if you were taking coding in high school, you could probably make an algorithm that does that.
Yeah, it's like you watch Avengers and it's going to recommend you Avengers Age of Ultron.
It's not recommending you similar stuff of like, hey,
X-Men
here's a superhero. It's just like, hey, here's another Avengers thing.
Yeah.
So their algorithm's a little bit on the sad side, but I very much like their UI better. You open the page, you got your home search, watch list and stuff on your top or side or however it's set up on your device. And then you have your categories, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic, where I feel like that's such a great way to sort things. But then, if you're not looking for anything specific, you scroll down and the rows are just sorted nicely. And
I feel like another thing is that like whole category of Disney, Pixar, that's only a Disney Plus thing. You're never going to see that somewhere else because it has so many of these big services with Marvel, with classic Disney movies, with Pixar, even National Geographic. Like, you're not going to see all these in other streaming services. It's just going to be maybe channels. Yeah. So that's
I'd say I like Disney's UI the best out of any of them.
I think one thing that I've always had an experience with is I don't know about you, I've struggled with like fast forwarding and trying to skip. I like Netflix's you freeze and it shows you all the frames when you're fast forwarding. It does. I've always struggled with that for Disney.
Yeah, that is something they could work on. I agree.
The fast forward, like all that sort of stuff. But overall, it's all right. Anything big? you want to
Disney
talk
Plus
about?
originals, kind of sad, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like, hey, here's Sneakerella, a modern spin on the Cinderella story. Or, a reanimated Pinocchio. Or, another freaking High School Musical, the musical, the series, the series, the musical, the musical. The Broadway musical.
The third.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you're kind of rehashing a lot of stuff. You're not really coming up with new ideas. And when you do come up with a new idea, it's not exactly the best. Which, the whole IP thing we've talked about before, I feel like that's real Disney's big problem.
Yeah, because they have so many.
Mm-hmm. It's like, instead of coming up with a new idea, they'd
they
rather
just use one that's
restart
big and
a new IP.
Reskins for Fortnite,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, instead of making new original ones, it's just, like, we see that tonight.
Yeah.
But I think another nice thing, though, is the fact that Disney does own so much. It is nice that there is one place to find it all.
Yeah.
Because,
I feel like if you're looking for a streaming service for your family, I'd say Disney Plus is the best option, just because it has content for adults, content
it has
for kids,
Disney princesses,
educational
it has
content,
educational, graphic. You have Star Wars for all that sort of content. You have the superheroes. You have Pixar for just like the general like toddler to like 10 age.
Got
right?
Disney Channel for teen entertainment. There's plenty of stuff there that's for everybody.
Yeah. So out of 10.
Out of 10, I'd put it at an 8.5 because Disney is a corrupt company.
I'm gonna have to say 7.7.
Lower than Netflix.
That's again, I said this, anime. As someone who really likes anime, I'm gonna use Netflix a lot more, because like
That's fair.
like how often do I watch? The other thing is, other than Marvel, I don't really care too much. Like I'll watch the movies when they come out. Like I watch Mulan.
Get you
and
into
stuff.
Star Wars.
But even then, I'm gonna watch all Star Wars in like a weekend, and then I'll be done. And I won't need it anymore.
Guys, do you hear this man? He thinks he can watch all of Star Wars in a weekend.
Hey, this coming weekend, I also have off Monday and Tuesday, which I'm going to count towards the weekend, because it's a long, extended weekend. So that's 4 days to watch all the movies.
I do not... Well, you gotta watch the movies, then you gotta watch the Clone Wars series, and then you gotta watch the newer series that have come out.
That's
you
not
can
too
technically
bad.
skip the sequels, because nobody likes the sequels, but, they're good if you want to kind of see the modern way that Star Wars took it.
That's easy. I could get that done in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
like
there's
17
bonus content and
Hey, don't
technically other canon shows like Rebels. That's like a kids animated show, but it's still technically canon because it carries on the story of Ahsoka, and you get to see her face off with Vader.
Hisoka?
So what?
Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Hulu.
Okay. I'm
trying to think if I've even used it.
Hulu. Hulu is like the TV show streaming service, right? You go there if you want a good TV series, something that airs on like ABC or History Channel or something like that. It does have some movies, but usually they're like movies that didn't do very well or movies that failed or movies that are like mostly in the big domain already. It does also have a good amount of anime, I will say.
I forget if it's Hulu or HBO that has a lot of anime.
My uncle uses Hulu for a lot of his anime, I know. My cousin uses it as well. That's where I watched that first anime, Bofuri, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through a lot of the shows. It looks like it's got a good genre. There's definitely a lot here that I wouldn't mind watching, like the anime, but you also have Gravity Falls, it looks like, some of those Cartoon Network type shows, Steven Universe.
Yeah. Then you got like your law shows, you got like the reality shows, Lego Masters, Masked Singer.
You got Doc McStuffins, Chowder, Kick
Master
Bukowski.
So it's good if you like shows. If you're not a movie person, then Hulu would probably be a better option. It's got a lot of good ones, like The Rookie. I've seen that one before.
Oh,
really
I started
good
The
show.
Hookie. It's really good.
The Hookie?
Hookie? Rookie. Same thing.
Rookie.
Same thing.
But yeah, Hulu is good for shows. I enjoy a good amount of the content on there.
I'm scrolling through. From what I've seen, I wouldn't mind it. See, I really liked I was more of a Cartoon Network kid.
Yeah.
So I absolutely loved Adventure Time, Steven that's Disney. Adventure Time, regular show, all those sort of shows I absolutely loved, and those are all Cartoon Network. And that looks like it has a crap ton of Cartoon Network.
It does, yeah.
So
the other thing is to mention here, Disney owns Hulu as well, because there is
the trio, right?
Disney
and
bundle.
It's ESPN, right? It's
Yeah,
ESPN,
ESPN,
Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Now,
So,
for a pretty obvious reason, I think I can say we're not going to talk about ESPN because neither of us sport at all.
what do you mean? I kick ball?
I don't think cranking 90s counts. Sit back in your beanbag chair.
My beanbag. We literally have the exact same chair, my G.
It's a joke, okay?
Anyway, out of 10, what do you rate it? I'm gonna rate it 8. Just kidding. I'm not gonna rate Hulu higher than Netflix and Disney. I'm gonna say 7.5.
I'd say 6.8. I tend to watch movies more than TV shows, so it's not a slam dunk for me, but it does have a lot of things I love on there.
But then, from what you're probably hearing, it sounds like a lot of stuff that I'm gonna enjoy. So
I do want to mention, if you guys want a really good TV show that plays with your brain and is really well written, 12 Monkeys. It is 12 Monkeys. It's fantastic.
Death Note too, but
12 Monkeys.
HBO. We don't have HBO on here, but I feel like that's a big enough one.
Let me pull it up real quick. Not Hob. That's definitely not what I typed. Definitely The Hobbit. Yeah. Did you say you don't have HBO?
I don't have most of these, so.
Oh, that's true. I forget your family just doesn't pay for a lot of streaming services.
Yeah, but like I don't really need more because I like to do illegal activities.
Tis fair.
Oh, they got Rick and Morty. Morty, I turned myself into a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick.
All right, HBO Max. I feel like it is big and has a good amount of IP. So like you got your Adventure Time on here, like you said.
Oh, we got Doctor Who.
Pretty good. Yep. You got a lot of DC content going straight to HBO.
Through. Looks like a lot of.
You got old hits like Friends and stuff on here.
Okay.
Tom
I forgot about
Jerry,
Superman, the show.
Doctor
the new
Who.
CW. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, Best Scooby-Doo.
Big Bang Theory. A lot of big ones on here, Game of Thrones, stuff like that. So they have a good amount of IP. I will say, though, HBO is a lot more adult than a lot of the other ones.
That's what I'm saying. It does not have like a kids
content,
section.
But yeah, they're definitely not trying to be a kids streaming service. So if you want something for your family, this is not the place to go. But it does have a good amount of blockbusters. You know, you get your Divergent series, you got your Harry Potter movies, stuff like that.
I'm not gonna rank this one because I know very little compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Do you want to rank it?
You know, I'll rank it. I'll put it at 6.3.
We're getting really specific this time.
Yeah, it's definitely weaker than a lot of other ones. I feel like they have a lot of work to do, but I feel like it could become something better if they put in the money and time.
Yeah. Alrighty. What else?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Like hop there next.
All right. Amazon. What do you feel about Amazon?
Okay, so here's the thing. Amazon wants to be everything, right? Amazon has TV shows
One of our
set up
words
like Hulu,
down below
it has
for topics
movies.
is monopoly, which I feel like Amazon itself is. Not just Prime, just Amazon.
Yeah. They literally have
grocery stores.
They have Lord of the Rings, which is technically should be on HBO. They have like you can rent almost anything on Amazon. You can rent the Star Wars movies, you can rent Marvel movies, like they are practically everything combined, just usually at a slightly higher cost. Now, here's the thing. You do get Amazon Video with your Prime subscription. So if you're already paying for Amazon, almost everything on here is free unless it's like a brand new movie that you'd have to rent anyway.
Yeah.
Apart from that, they mostly have a lot of unheard of titles. Like I've never heard of Uncle Tom or Firebird or the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like there are a lot of under the radar ones, but like I said, they're a combination of everything, so they have everything, even if you have to rent it.
One thing we completely forgot about for the last like 3 UI. Just quickly.
Yeah, let's jump back.
Hulu, good or bad UI?
Hulu is mid UI.
Okay. HBO.
HBO, good UI. I like it.
Okay, that's it. Let's go back. Amazon, good or bad UI?
Bad, I'd say.
I'd agree from what I've seen. It just is
together.
confusing, and it's just. Yeah. I feel like that's just the big thing with Amazon. It has everything, so it has so much to put on there.
Yeah. But I'd say their algorithm is pretty good. Like,
yeah.
I've watched very few things on Amazon. Like, I watched Psych on Amazon, and I've watched like we all use the same account in our family, so we've watched like Rings of Power and Pokemon and stuff.
Sure.
And it does bring up some pretty good recommendations being similar to that. Like, we have the Star Trek movie recommended, Snake Eyes, the Lord of the Rings movies come up. Like, those are all good recommendations for what we've watched. So I'd say their algorithm is pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Out of 10.
Out of 10, I'd put it at 7.8.
I was gonna say 7.
Jolly.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Voodoo.
All right. Voodoo is practically, for anyone who doesn't know, because I know there's a lot of people out here who don't know what Voodoo is. It is practically, I think Redbox has a service. Voodoo is practically the better version of that. It's basically just, hey, here's a brand new movie that come out. Let's see here. Minions Rise of Gru. That came out recently. You can rent that for $6, and you get it for 2 days. You can watch it as many times as you want for 2 days for $6. Or, you can buy it and grow your collection. They'll have bundles of movies you can buy. So it's basically just a renting service. Okay. But it's all digital, which is nice. I will say, their performance, not always great. We've almost always had a movie buffer when we try to watch it, and it's not because of our internet, because we can watch it fine on something else. So yeah. I'd say their performance is pretty sad. But in terms of being a renting streaming service, I think it's definitely one of the best out there.
All right. What do you want to rank it?
I'd put it at a 7.
I'm not gonna. I haven't used this, so I'm not gonna rank this one. Pluto and alike. So there's been a lot of streaming services like Apple TV and Paramount Plus. They're still here, but they're pretty much dead.
Yeah, it's like they come up with a huge rise and like, here's some big IPs that we're gonna have on our service. Come subscribe. People go subscribe for like a month, watch those big IPs, and then leave and never come back. They don't have anything else because they just didn't sustain themselves. The big problem.
And I feel like there's a good few of them. Paramount Plus and has iCarly, and Apple TV had a few decent shows, but those are just 2 streaming services. There's been a lot because I feel like almost every channel had tried to make a streaming service.
Yeah, they've definitely tried. Tried is the key word.
Tried, because they very much died after everyone watched the shows that they wanted to watch. Because guess what? Why pay for that when I can go get HBO or Hulu that has those same shows like Friends?
Yeah.
And have all these other shows. Because I feel like the shows in the Friends and Office were some of the big shows that were put on their own streaming service, but then nobody watched it, so then they're put on the big ones like Hulu and HBO.
Yeah, I'm looking here at Pluto now. Pluto, yes, Pluto. I can speaketh. Pluto. It looks like it has bigger TV shows. Like, I see NCIS, which is absolutely massive.
Well, it's more like a streaming cable. So it's like cable TV.
Because it has a huge live TV tab right here, which is like their big thing. And then there's a slight on-demand section for other shows that aren't very popular.
If I remember correctly, I think you can record through Pluto.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I can't remember. I haven't used it in a while. But yeah, if you just need a quick free thing, say that all you have is internet and you don't want to buy all these, it's decent. My mom used it a good bit. Peacock, pretty much the same thing. We don't have to look that one up. It's pretty much the same thing.
No, it's not.
Free TV?
I've used Peacock. That's not the
TV.
Same thing. It's TV shows. It doesn't even have a live section.
New movies, live shows.
Hold up. Let me pull up Peacock here.
Live sports and more. New movies, live sports and more.
If I can remember the password.
It's a good question. I definitely do not remember my password. Is there a free one?
I do not remember the password, but you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
We don't need
whatever.
that.
We have a lot more to cover. It's fine.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, they're a free one. They have subscription. It's gets you no ads and stuff like that because they do ads so that they can be free.
Yeah.
But their catalog is it's small, very, very much smaller than a lot of
Yeah.
other ones. But a lot of it is like bigger shows. Like they have Parks and Rec on there. They got The Office on there. They got Psych on there.
Like the big thing is it's free.
Yeah.
All the other ones you need a monthly subscription. That one's free.
Mostly.
So,
Usually they'll have like
yeah.
1 or 2 seasons of a show for free, and then after that, you have to pay for the rest of it.
Individually or with the subscription?
With the subscription.
Okay.
But yeah, they're all right. I feel like they're one of the smaller ones that started up that I feel like might stick around for a bit longer at least. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
Tubi is the other one that I saw that stuck out. I have seen that floating
I've
around
heard
quite
of
a
that.
bit. I know they think here. Let's look at their description. Free premium on-demand video. 40,000 movies and television. Wow, that's less than Peacock. Peacock had 80,000.
40,000 sounds like a lot, but in the world of media,
Yeah, it's really not. Because imagine how many of those are like under the radar, like solo movies by small directors and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but you know it says it's free.
it's there.
So you know it's there. I love how
yeah,
they say
this one doesn't
Tubi
even...
is free in parentheses and legal.
Yeah, I'm looking at the App Store right now. It says 277,000 ratings. Peacock, I think, had like 1.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it's small. Yeah. It's definitely smaller.
Sounds like they use ads as well. So you know.
Anyway, yeah, I don't. We kind of talked a whole bunch. They're all there.
Yeah.
A lot of those are free. They're there. If you want them, you go ahead and get them. But I feel like there's definitely better options. Like I'd definitely rather just pay for Disney or Hulu or something.
Yeah. All right. Last one I think we should touch on is YouTube. This one we could go
Anime?
pretty in depth on.
Let's talk about anime before we get to YouTube, because YouTube we can definitely finish out this.
Fine.
Because I feel like we can go for YouTube for a while. Oh, you don't have anything to say?
I have absolutely zero to say on either. Well, no, I don't have anything to say. If I chime in, I'm just gonna get yelled.
You're just gonna look stupid and get canceled
Yeah,
by the anime
yeah.
community. So, one thing I think you can possibly talk about is one thing that there's two big streaming services for anime: Funimation and Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has a lot of anime, and they're big ones, but they're mostly subbed. And then you also, you do need to pay to watch. Like, you might be able to watch episode 1, 2, maybe 3 for free, but then you do need the subscription. Funimation, same thing. You might be able to watch episode 2, 3, 4, and Funimation's big because that's the dubbed one. Everyone kind of chooses one. Nobody really... I mean, the big anime watchers have both, but, like, a lot of people choose one or the other. But another thing that I heard...
I know there's a stereotype in the anime community that, like, if you really watch a lot of anime, you only watch subbed. Dubbed is for the wimps.
No, yeah, that's valid. But another thing that was talked about is them combining into one streaming service. And I know the talk when that was going on is how big of a monopoly that would be. Because that's
that
all...
would be massive.
That's literally almost all anime.
Because, like, when I think of anime, that is the only two that are, like, actually important.
There's some that are on, like, Hulu, Netflix.
Uh-huh.
But for actual streaming anime services, those are the only two. And them combining, that would be such a monopoly on anime.
It really would.
So, obviously nothing's come across. They're still two separate things. I don't know what's going on with that, but that was one thing that was talked about for quite a while, and it was pretty big.
Mm-hmm. I could see that happening. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad plan.
No, like, imagine $10 a month for literally almost all anime subbed or dubbed, new or old. Like, and probably being able to download episodes as well.
Yeah.
That'd be... Not to mention, another thing with Crunchyroll, we have subbed, right?
Yep.
There's also subbed in Spanish, German, French. Like it has a lot.
Dang.
And dubbed as well. So, like, a lot of the big languages out there, German, French, Spanish, English, it has subbed and dubbed of that, and the originals.
That's nice.
So that's another reason why that's, like, a big one, because so many people use it around the world, not just in the U.S.
Yeah.
So,
what would you rate them?
I'd say I don't use either because I just have Netflix, but I think once I maybe I'll get one, start getting one. Probably Funimation is the one I choose as someone who watches more dubbed, but they're both like 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Again, as you can all tell, my lists are very biased, depending on anime.
Yep.
I'm not scared to say it. It is very biased, and I know it.
Poor Disney Plus, man. They put in so much effort just to
But
be
they don't got
neglected.
anime. They might have anime eventually.
I definitely see them venturing into that. I mean, it's Disney. They're like one of the biggest companies
Well,
ever.
it probably wouldn't technically be an anime since anime's Japanese cartoons. I don't think they're gonna have anything from Japan, but in that
just
art
in
style.
the style, yeah.
Yeah, like Avatar, Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Right, that's not an anime, but that's definitely in that art style, which I would absolutely love to see something from Disney,
It's
like one
an
of the
America
big...
May.
Okay, let's go on.
All right, YouTube. All right.
It's crap. It's great. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I really don't know. I have such mixed opinions because it's really great for the. Do you want to talk about YouTube Red and original
Well,
TV?
I want to jump into their actual streaming area first, because YouTube has their movies and shows section, where you can go to buy or rent movies, and then they have a free with ads area as well. Now they have some very small animes on there. They have some old cartoons. I know my mom was watching episodes of Alf on here.
Oh, I love Alf. Alf's great.
Yeah. They got 4 seasons of Alf, it looks like. But yeah, they have some good stuff on here. They got Hunter, X Hunter, whatever you call it.
Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, whatever. 3 seasons of that free with ads,
Okay.
They got stuff on here.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty big. Didn't MatPat do an episode on how YouTube TV was going to take over?
I think he did, yeah, at one point.
It didn't.
It didn't, but I could definitely see it. Okay.
I think the problem is
Slight
they have
tangent
to
here.
Oh,
but
okay.
YouTube they're struggling with what to focus on right now. First, they had to focus on monetization. Then they had to focus on comment cleaning. After that, they have to focus on their
Dislikes.
YouTube originals, which got canceled. After that, they had to focus on creators, and now they're focusing on live streaming. But after that, I feel like their next thing to work on would definitely be this area. Because with the rise of all these different streaming platforms, I feel like they have to open their eyes at some point and see, okay, well, we have a huge video area. Let's try and clean up our streaming area so that we can bring in people there. Because then, their subscription might become a little bit more popular, YouTube Premium.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't think I've ever used YouTube Premium or YouTube Red or any of those, but I've definitely heard of them, and I see a lot of shows, and it seems viable. Again, I just feel like it's just more worth it to buy something like Disney or Netflix. It just has so much more. But I feel like if YouTube would focus on that more, maybe make some shows, because they got the money. They can make some shows. They can hire some people. We saw that with YouTube Originals. And if they get some more IPs, it could definitely get up there. It has the possibility to be really big.
I agree. Because, the YouTube Red shows, or I guess, didn't it have a different name?
Red.
Yeah. I think it was original or Red.
Are they
first,
different?
And then it was originals. No, they were the same thing. Red was I think
Red was an
their
app.
push to make it the streaming.
I think Red was an app. It was a separate thing.
No, it was not a separate app. I can confirm that because I watched YouTube Red shows on the website and stuff. So I think YouTube Red was just their push, hey, you have to pay for the subscription to watch YouTube Red. And then after that, it turned into YouTube Originals, which some of them were free, but others were still, hey, you have to have YouTube Premium. And then, after that, it kind of fizzled out. I believe In Space with Markiplier was the last YouTube original before they shut that project down.
Which stinks, because there definitely was there wasn't a lot, but there was some decent ones that came from it.
Yeah. Escape the Night, that was a fun one that I watched. Just a bunch of creators doing escape room type stuff. Then, the Markiplier stuff, big hits with everybody. MatPat's Game Lab, that was a fun one.
I remember that.
Yeah, there were a bunch of good ones out there, but, they just, I don't know. I feel like they got bad rep because they were YouTube and nobody saw that, hey, these are actual productions that we should take seriously.
Because YouTube.
Yeah, because
YouTube does so much
and
other
silly
stuff.
creators that all act ridiculous on this website,
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because there are a lot of good creators out there that, given the resources, I'm sure they could make a fantastic show, but, they just don't have that.
Oh, okay, so this is kind of with Netflix, but this is definitely a bash at Netflix with like you said, the creators that like if they had like the money. What do you feel about Mr. Beast's Squid Game with the whole Netflix thing?
Well, I think.
So if you guys don't know, Mr. Beast did, I think everyone knows Mr. Beast Squid Game, did really well. It beat original Netflix. The thing
it
was...
got more views than original Netflix Squid Game did.
Yeah, but the thing was it Netflix that offered him, or how was it? Because he was offered money from
Netflix
someone.
offered to make him a show, but didn't give him the funding that he could make from his own videos.
I think that's why he made Squid Game, to beat that, to show them up.
Yeah.
I think
like
that's
Netflix was like, hey, we want to do a show with you, and offered him like, here's a flat fund, you get to use this for a season of the show. And he was like, well, I can make more than that in a single video and then just spend it on the next. Why would I accept this deal?
Yeah.
So then he did the Squid Games, because not only was it like a huge internet phenomenon at that time, so it was gonna naturally pull in views, but he wanted to show Netflix what a creator could do. So he created this. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the behind the scenes kind of pictures or footage or whatever. It was literally just mostly green screens. Like, he had sets, but it was mostly green screens. And using VFX, he created a set that, in my opinion, looked better than the original Squid Game show.
Probably.
Like, it looked freaking amazing for just being green screens.
However, I just want to shout out that one guy that I saw. I forget what your name is. I'm completely sorry, and I know you're not watching. The guy that made the explosion, like the thing that, like, when they look like they got shot, Mr. Beast called him apparently in, like, 3 days before they had to... He had, like, 3 days to make them.
That's great.
And he had to make 400 of them. Anyway,
yeah.
But with that, like, that's just one of those things. It's like, there's so many creators on the platform that if they had money, like, a lot of money, not just, like, a small little thing from, like, Raid Shadow, like a crap ton of money, they can do some insane things that would pull in so many views.
Like, give them the same amount of funding that you would give a typical movie or something. Like, I know a good example, I think, is Blumhouse Films. They're, like, a small horror movie company that they're known for running on their small budgets, but their movies are really popular. Like, they're in the process of making the FNAF movie and have been for the past, like, 2-3 years. But,
I thought it was, like, 7 years, but okay.
Well, not them. It jumped between Warner Brothers and Universal.
That's fair,
and blah,
that's
blah, blah.
true. Like the Minecraft movie.
Yeah, definitely. But anyways, they have a lot of big horror IPs, and they make a lot of money from those movies, but they give them small enough budgets that it's not like, hey, if this movie fails, then we're doomed, and it's a big hole in our pocket,
Yeah. So
I feel like if they were to do something like that, like create a small secondary company, like YouTube Movies or whatever, something like that, not YouTube Studio, that's like their
creator, that's what we used to say as
something on the side that can make its own money, give creators a small budget to make something like that, and
I think,
create their own IPs.
We talked a little bit about this. Crypt TV is another one.
Yeah, I did see that. I was genuinely shocked at the quality of those. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's a YouTube channel that makes really, like, quality horror stuff from what I've seen. Like,
did you watch any? We talked about it.
I did watch a few, yeah.
And what do you feel like? I know some of them is pretty corny, but like the look-see seems really corny, but when you really get into it, it's
if
pretty
you think about
scary.
it, most horror movies these days are pretty corny. Like, what was that one? Wally's Wonderland or whatever, with the animatronics and Nick Cage. That one was pretty cheesy, but everybody went to see it. And I know the Winnie the Pooh one coming out. People are going to go see that, but nobody's interested in the plot. Like, horror movies in general aren't that great.
I think it's just seeing that, like, gore
it's
and
the
like,
monster
jump
and
scare,
the intensity,
which I think Crypt TV absolutely does fantastic
they did fantastic. If you go and just even look at the thumbnails, trigger warning though, they are kind of creepy.
Yes, very much trigger warning. Just to say they are. Whew, some of them are.
But they look fantastic for horror, like beasts.
And think about
they're
it.
Great.
This seems like really high quality. This is just a YouTube channel. I don't think they get crazy funding. I don't know much about the background of the channel or anything, but I don't think they get crazy funding.
Mm-hmm.
But like, imagine if they got funding.
Yeah.
Like the type of things they can make. They can make a full horror movie. Like, a lot of them are shorts, like either 1, 3, 4, 5 minutes, or maybe 13, 15 minutes. But imagine if they had the funding, they can make like an hour-and-a-half long horror movie.
I mean, I just went to their channel 11 months ago. Apparently, Peacock funded a show with them.
Oh,
It's their banner autoplay.
oh,
video.
is that what that is? The
Yeah.
girl. Oh, I see that now.
The Girl in the Woods series?
Yep. Streaming October 21st.
Yeah.
Oh, we might have to watch that.
Yeah, I
If
kinda-
that's with
kinda
that
interested,
kind of
honestly.
funding, that can be
Yeah,
pretty
because
cool.
Peacock, I could definitely see giving them enough funding to do this. Because, gosh, these freaking monsters, I can't. It's horrifying.
And you know
But
what?
no,
Hey, I just want to
think
quickly say
if
it's
you
another thing I told you should watch.
Yeah,
And you like it.
honestly, yeah. If any creator, I think, could make a good series to like give creators a good name, I think it'd be them. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if this series on Peacock does well, I could see it making a bunch of headlines, and then people, start seeing, hey, there's some actual talent here on YouTube.
And then YouTube grows in the process
Exactly.
because they're gonna have all these other big places grow. Now, what else do you want to talk? So that's like, there's definitely some. I think it'd be really cool to see some funding, but like we kind of
Yeah.
touched a little bit. I think the problem, like I started off with YouTube saying I like it, I don't like it, I don't know. Like the whole monetization thing was such a big deal with like kids monetization and stuff like that. Is it for kids? And if it's for kids, you lose 90% of your money.
Yeah.
So then, like, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, because I don't know when you really started watching YouTube and, like, was able to watch all this. I remember, everyone was cussing, not a big deal, and then everyone had to use friendly words, because if you cuss, you couldn't get monetized, and now if you are too family friendly, you also don't get monetized, because you lose 90%, because then everything was made for kids. So then people, I don't even know where it's at. That's where we're at now, and it's just confusing. I don't know if you
I feel
remember
like
seeing that
YouTube
on
is
YouTube.
just scared of the media, and they wanted to get rid of the problem as fast as possible. So instead of coming up with a logical solution, they just kind of brushed it off with the solution that worked for the time being. Because I saw a lot of people bringing up the situation with Neopets. I'm not sure if you heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neopets is a little like game website thing where you can create an account as a child and then have your parent fill out the info and whatnot saying that you are under this age, blah, blah, blah. And then you can make an adult account that's above 13 and, you don't have to do that process. And I feel like if YouTube went for that, then those problems would be solved. They wouldn't have to impact monetization. They would only show videos marked as for kids,
See,
instead of having to worry about advertisers.
I don't know. I think they still got to worry a little bit because remember they did try to put Matt Pat's "Don't Hug Me I'm Scared" video on 4Kids on YouTube.
Well,
Kids.
you see that's different because that's a different issue. I'd say it's more so content filtering on that hand, whereas this is like advertisers have to pick and choose what they want to be on. So,
but even
that's a separate
then,
issue.
I just feel like it's more on the parents' fault because like they have YouTube Kids, yet they're still letting them watch it on YouTube, which has so much more.
Yeah.
Like that can
and then
very
the
much
creators
be.
have to suffer from that.
And then
It
all
doesn't
the
make much
like
sense.
it's the parents' fault. It's like why is YouTube getting blamed for kids watching this stuff and like getting ads? They should be on YouTube Kids, and it should be the parents like in charge. Like
yeah.
YouTube
it says
is
in
not
YouTube
at fault.
terms of service, like you must be 13 years or older to use the site. So if people are letting kids make their own accounts and watch it, then it's not their fault.
Yeah, which a whole other like topic right there. It's just I just really get annoyed because now it's not only ruined certain like as a content creator myself. It struggles. Like, do I want to be family friendly? Because if I'm family friendly, I might not get monetized, or do I not like? I don't know what I want to be at this point because I don't know what's beneficial. But then as someone who watches everyone, you can just see the creators are struggling as well because they don't know what games they can do and what to make.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just such a different aspect from streaming where it's, okay, how many views do we get? How much sales do we make? Do we split revenue with how many views? Like, blah, blah, blah. YouTube is over here like, okay, so we must get advertising on these videos, but it has to be a certain type of advertising, and advertising that isn't relevant to kids whatsoever. You get sponsors in there. Like, it's just such a different environment on YouTube than it is for other streaming. So I feel like that's a roadblock for them in a way.
Yeah, like I remember, I don't know if you know what Manscaped is.
Yeah.
And like I watch Call of Duty, and they're like Call of Duty's made for older. It's rated M for mature, 17 plus, right? So something like Manscaped, it's going to be for an adult audience. But do you realize how many kids I know that play it and played it at the age of like 12
Yeah.
And they're going to be seeing that. Like, that's that's YouTube. That's, like, YouTube's monetization, like, philosophy, I guess you can say. Yeah. And then, obviously, like, I know a lot of, like, behind the scenes, and stuff like that, but it's definitely some rough things on getting monetized and stuff like that. It's changed. I think it's become easier, but another problem I have is YouTube Shorts and how much people abuse it.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
it's aggressive.
Like, I literally can see the same video, like, 7 times in an hour from 7 different channels, but then I realize all 7 channels have the same name. They're different channels, same name, same profile picture, and they have the same video about 1,000 times. One video might have 17 views, another one might have 500,000. They just spam it, just farming the system, and I absolutely hate that, because that also, that's just a whole problem with, like, YouTube.
Yeah. I think with shorts is such a topic, but
not to mention the amount of TikToks I see on it. People just upload their their TikToks like or others' TikToks.
Ludwig has said on YouTube, it's a great way for creators to promote their like streams or their videos, right? You post like a little high energy clip like, today in this video I did this and it turned out like this, and you show a little clip. And
like Nadia.
Click on my channel to continue watching the video.
Like Nadia.
Sure. But yeah, it's a great idea. It's just they definitely did not put in enough effort in order to make it good.
No, because I that's pretty much what I use instead of TikTok, instead of just having like all this extra. But it's definitely annoying for the amount of spam and just crap I get thrown in.
I prefer the Instagram Reels just because it filters that kind of thing out.
Do you use Shorts much?
I use it every once in a while.
Is it just me, or do they have you unsubscribe from people sometimes? Because I feel like I've seen this guy like so many times that I watch every single one of his videos the whole way through, and I like it, and I subscribe.
It's possible that
but then it pops up.
Like register with the server or something. I don't know.
It's either that or another thing. I'm not surprised. What if it's another channel that just has the same profile, also has hundreds of thousands, and has all their videos re-uploaded?
That'd be stupid.
That'd be stupid, but would you doubt it?
I want to say yes, I doubt it, because
but
that was one of the
all
first
those
problems YouTube came up with. Like, I feel like they've nailed the verification checkmark right now. Like, the only problems I see with it are the scam channels that like somehow manage to avoid the system.
They don't have verification marks because they're smaller. Like, I see all their videos, but they only have like
I wouldn't doubt it at all. If they're
if it's verification,
mark,
I mean, they're still pretty big, over 100,000 subscribers, but they don't have a check mark.
Well, then they should have a check mark. If they have 100,000 subscribers, then they get a check mark.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because that's your first play button is 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So you get a check mark after your first play button. Heck, I think you get a check mark once you can be monetized.
Where do you get a check mark? Because I'm looking at Crypt TV and I don't see a check mark on their home page.
They have a check mark. I can see it.
I don't see a check mark. Maybe
right
it's just
their name is a gray little check mark.
Maybe it's just because it's mobile?
Could be. I don't know.
Because I never see check marks.
Yeah, no. You I believe it's either when you get monetized or when you get your first play button, you get a check mark.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. But like another thing though is there's so many spam comments with like Mr. Beast's like Mr. Beast or something. Like, oh my gosh, it is so bad.
They need to clean up their comment section again.
Keyword again. I think YouTube is going to be around for such a long time. I don't see it dying, but I definitely see it going through some low patches.
Yeah, they just I feel like they need to put more resources into it. Like, I know it's already a massive corporation, but I think Google needs to send, like, another 1,000 guys over there at least to try and help fix it.
Not even just 1,000 guys, just maybe changing some management in certain positions to really fix it with maybe some different views or something.
Like Matt Pat's talked about all the time, if they consulted creators a little bit more, they could help the platform so much.
Because they know exactly the problems, because they suffer through the problems with the comment spam and creators stealing their ideas. Like, another thing is, not just like the people that are copying videos, like, right, like I just save the video, upload it, but like the Russian Mr. Beast, right? It's literally the same concept video. That's stealing. That's still stealing.
Yeah.
And a copyright claiming, I don't know how much you've seen about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Mumbo Jumbo? I think we've talked.
Yep.
Did you know what happened to him?
What happened to him?
He had an intro clip. And it's a pretty cool intro clip. Do you know what he woke up to one morning? In the span of about
strike?
in a span of about 30 seconds, every single one of his videos had a copyright claim. Every single one, all 1,000 or so.
What?
Because the studio behind that, even though he had approval to use this clip, he got a copyright claim on every single one of his videos for the intro, and now he doesn't. Now you can go back on his old videos; he doesn't have the intro anymore.
Oof. That's
like he literally had approval, he was okay, but the copyright somehow somebody can just hit a button and claim in 30 seconds all like hundreds of videos.
Yeah, they need to.
The copyright system is definitely another big problem.
Because like anybody can copyright claim anything. Like if I go to a royalty-free music, I can file a claim to send that as my copyright, and it's fairly easy to claim it as well.
Yep, but I feel like I said, I think it's gonna last a while. But when they do stuff like the whole, the child monetization stuff, when that hit, I feel like YouTube took a hit.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like when stuff like that happens, YouTube's gonna take a hit, but I don't see it dying. Not anytime soon.
New creators rise and fall, and more.
I mean, look at Smosh, right? That's such a big thing. Nobody that's not on the internet. They still make videos, but is that the big thing that you see on the headlines and everything? No, you're gonna be seeing Mr. Beast.
Yeah, it's because
selling a house.
YouTube is such it's like a good mesh. It's like a clay. You can mold it to be whatever you need. If movies are more popular, hey, they have movies. If you want an indie studio, here's a small channel that makes productions. If you want stupid content or teenage content or adult content, you literally have anything, and YouTube can represent the interest of that era at any point. So we can look at the VTubers, the animators, the the gamers from every single game you can think of. Yeah. We have the life hacks, we have the vlogs, we have the react channels, right? And there's so much more. We have the streamers, we have the shorts, we have the actual videos. Everything you can think of, it's on there. And I think that's why it's never gonna die. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna take hits and suffer for a bit. Yeah.
Overall, out of 10, what do you rate it, JJ?
YouTube is a 9 for me.
It doesn't have anime. 2.
It has anime.
That's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Because do you realize the hundreds of hours I have on YouTube of watching clips of anime? The amount of times I've seen the Luffy versus Crocodile fight, or Naruto versus Pain, or Goku going Ultra Instinct. It is hundreds of times I've watched those clips on YouTube. Hundreds.
I mean, on a completely random note, did you see the reanimation of some of the Naruto scenes?
Maybe.
They were reanimating a bunch of important scenes. I think it's called the Road of Naruto or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what happens is, this is gonna be, it's a rant. I'm just gonna go with it. So another thing, you can see Luffy versus Crocodile, one of my favorite art piece fights in all of media. It had such a great soundtrack with it, a great acapella, classical orchestra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Alabasta. But then they made a movie, which is the entire Alabasta arc, which is around 80 episodes, smashed into a movie. And they changed, it's reanimated, but they also changed the audio, the fight sequence. So a lot of those types of fights, it's from the show, reanimated. They might change up the fight a little bit, but it's generally the same thing, practically the same story, but reanimated. And personally, I like the old better. The original, I think, is almost always better with situations like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at it
almost.
Here. It looks like they took the same, they took the same videos, or same clips, I guess, from the show, and it almost seems like they just animated over them and made the graphics better. They, AI upscaling, you see that all over the place.
What movie is it?
Naruto. The Road of Naruto is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like they just reanimated and AI upscaled it. And you can see reflections in the water at very high quality, which you couldn't in the original. I'm just looking at the fight between Naruto and Sasuke in the what's it called? The Heroes something or other.
Hero Valley or something.
Yeah, Heroes Valley or something like that. But it looks fantastic.
Oh, this looks brand new.
It's very loud. Yeah, it's very brand new. I think this is technically only the trailer as well, because they're like fully reanimating some of the episodes.
Oh no, yeah, I'm looking
Like,
through. This is not.
Shot.
This is this one. Classic anime movies are not like that. They are. This does look like sometimes they do that, but most of the time when they reanimate, they change it up a bit. Like the fight sequence is a bit different.
Like that. Here, I'm sending you a picture. This freaking shot is unreal. Like, it looks so good. And I feel like out of all of them, Naruto definitely deserved this kind of treatment.
Yeah, especially with Boruto.
Mm-hmm. And how old the series is as well, and it's still as popular as it was when it started.
That's why it's part of the big three.
Exactly. So I definitely feel like it deserves this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But
I'll have to see that too. It looks pretty chill. It looks pretty poggers.
Yep. Anyways,
Monopoly. We talked about it. UI. We talked about it. So one thing we kind of mentioned a few times is like political. It's not the fact that like I'm gonna completely diss something because there's a gay character or a black character, right? I'm not saying that. It's the fact that all these streaming services are making movies and stuff that didn't need to happen, or they're just implementing it so strongly. Mm-hmm. Like, have a gay character, okay,
it's like,
but don't make it the main point.
That's powerful for that character. They're trying to make a character that is powerful for the
media. I was literally thinking about that. What if they just, like, imagine Disney just made a gay movie. Instead of having all these small characters, they just had it. It's cool. If you like that, if you want a movie like that, there's your movie. And if you don't watch it. There's plenty of other movies. There's plenty of movies that I don't watch for Disney.
I feel like they know what's going to happen, because recently, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but there's a gay movie that came out called Bros that's literally just like a gay rom-com kind of thing. And it bombed so heavy. Like, nobody went to see it. And I feel like Disney knows that that's what's going to happen if they try, so they're slipping it in so that they can still push their political agenda, but, like, they're afraid to make its own movie because they know it's going to happen.
I don't think that necessarily it's a guaranteed, because I don't know if you've heard of Love, Simon. I feel like Love, Simon did really well.
I have not heard of that.
It's just a guy who's gay. It's, it's a movie. It does really well. It has a sequel. Like, it did well. It's queer, but, like, I think the big problem is the fact that it has Disney's name behind it. That automatically, if they do something like that, it's gonna have backlash.
Yeah.
I feel like if they made a movie like that, I think it could do well. I think it would do well if it didn't have, like, if they made it and just didn't have Disney's name. Which I feel like is a big problem when you see something like that. Everyone just sees it as them just pushing political values and not just making another movie for this group of people and this group of people and this group of people.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I mean,
I'm not saying that's guaranteed, right?
It definitely can. The whole reason he founded Disney was to show other cultures, like represent other cultures, which is why we see so many movies like Encanto or Luca, like all these other cultures being shown in these movies, which I really like those ones. Like, those are really strong movies with these other cultures. It's when they try and push that, like when they're trying to force it down your throat, that's when it gets unbearable.
Yeah. Which we talked a little bit about in the Marvel episodes. It's like, cool, did we really need a whole show that Captain America's black now?
Yeah.
Cool, go all for it. That's totally fine. But it's just pushing it down, and it ruins some of that. It ruins the actual feeling, because one thing is, I'm trying to think who said it. I think it was Samuel L. Jackson or something like that, who just said, like, if you want equality, don't have Black History Month. Because pushing it is showing how much inequality there is.
Yeah.
So when you're pushing these types of movies, you're showing the problem instead of just letting it just be there. Like, just having the characters there. Cool. Like, yeah. That's a sensitive topic, but it's just something that people need to talk. Like, it needs to be said.
On that note, we are about...
Are we going to end it on that really stressful and sensitive topic, or do we want to meme something?
Let's
meme something.
Do you have a meme? Do you have a meme?
Meme? Your face. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you all later. Bye. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, you should go follow the Spotify. Now
or
a spider will crawl
to
in,
lick your toes.
and you're gonna wake up to spiders in your ears. Make sure you hit the notification bell too, JJ.
And follow the social medias, Nerd Rant Podcast on Twitter and Instagram
At Nerd Rant Podcast.
Yeah, if you don't, then I'll steal your cereal in the morning.
No, steal the spoons.
Oh yeah, that would
Okay, bye.
Eat it with their face.